I'm in my front yard, and today I'm going to take you guys to 3 different plots and show you what I do to winterize my irrigation every year. So we're going to start here, and again, this is, I've said this many times, this is just what I do. I know there's other ways to do this, but this works for me because I'm not in a crazy cold climate like the rest of Canada. I'm in a relatively mild climate as far as Canada goes, so I don't get minus 30 degrees Celsius here. So I don't actually remove my irrigation at the end of the year. I just open it up so that the water can flow out and when it freezes. So all I do is I go around and take my timers off, and then I'll go and I'll open up a few places here and there on the irrigation lines, on the main lines. But because this plot that I'm at right now, my front yard of my house, is drip, as the water freezes, it will actually drip outside of those emitters. So I'm not worried about the drip itself. All I do here is take my timer off. So it's just undoing this, and then we're done with this one. We'll go look at another plot that has overhead irrigation, and we'll look at 2 of those actually, and I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, here at one of my main sites, and this is overhead. So what I'm going to do here is a few things. One, I'm going to remove all of my impact heads for the winter, and I just use a wrench to do that, screw those off. And then what I'm going to do is open up the poly that is the poly tubing that's underneath, so that when the water freezes, it has a place to go. What I'm also going to do is open up my water main, which is down here. And this is a very specific system, so not everybody has this type of thing. But I'm going to turn off the main water down there, which shuts off the city water coming into this plot. This is just another one that's an off between the water meter and what comes up to the water up in my plot. So I can turn this one off as well. Then when I open this up, that's a drain. So what that'll do is allow everything that's up on the main plot to drain down, so you can see water just slowly leaking out of it. There's about 2 feet of gravel here, so I can just leave that open, it'll drain. So don't worry too much, don't worry at all about this whole situation. This setup is like this because there's no home on this plot. Otherwise, any water main like that would have been hooked up in the basement of a house. So it's kind of the same thing, but in a house you wouldn't need to release it in the same way because the house is heated and you're not worried about it freezing. So besides from taking off my impact heads, all I'm really worried about now is, see these main lines, I call these mains. These are the lines that go to the sprinkler. And I just don't want them to be filled with water, so I will usually just disconnect them here and there. So I might just come over here and disconnect that joint so that it can free flow, and just go and do that in all of these places. So the same thing here is just disconnecting this down here, just unscrewing this and just leaving it rough as that. I don't bother rolling up my lines and laying them out again in the spring. That's just too much work. And because all of my plots are above ground irrigation, I'm not needing to worry about blowing out any lines. Okay, over at this plot, it's essentially the same thing. I'm just going to open up some of these main lines so the water can flow out. But mainly what I need to do is just take these timers out. So we're still even a ways away from like a really hard frost or really cold temperatures. So my main thing is just take these timers out. We're not watering anymore. We don't need to water. There's enough rain this time of year. It's also not really warm, so don't really need to water. The soil stays moist and cool. So I'm just going to take these timers out of here, open up these valves on the bottom of the main lines, and that's it. It's really simple. That's all we do. So I know that many farms have to go and get an air pressure unit to blow out their lines each season, especially if they're underground, because water is going to stay in there. Because these are above the ground, when I open up some of the main lines, they're just going to drain out. So that's it, guys. That's all I do. So that's more or less my day. We've got a lot other stuff happening on the farm, but this is something I just figured I'd take the time to show you. All right, thanks for watching.